edition of the North Suburban Beat, we check out some new seating in Arden Hills Parks. We find out about a special price food program that's for everybody. But first, let's check out lots of city festivals. And welcome to the North Suburban Beat with Steve Hahn. I'm Neil Bellagio. Thank you for joining us.
The New Brighton Parade is always known to have a large number of beautiful floats. This year they decided to recognize the best of them. St. Paul Park, Anoka, and first place winner Fridley all received awards.
Here comes the St. Paul Park Heritage Days.
Commemoration of their early beginnings.
Yeah, that was me. Isn't that pretty sweet to know that I'm out there on these parades?
That's pretty cool.
And it was a big parade, and it was just lots of fun, and it's always fun to go out and see these parades.
Right. It always seems like it's a big and beautiful parade, and Irondale Band always seems like they show up.
Yes, and they always do a fantastic job. They always know to play for us, and it's wonderful. And it's when it gets to dusk and you get to see all the pretty lights on the floats, that's when it gets real cool.
Right. And of course, it's also the final ride for this year's royalty.
That's right, Steve. And following Monday, new ambassadors were chosen to represent New Brighton around the state.
Jenna Horek. New Brighton's Ambassador Family for the year 2013. Congratulations to all of you.
Well, Neil, one of this year's biggest celebrations is finally upon us. It's the Minnesota State Fair. Every year we look forward to all the new foods introduced, most of which we can eat as we stroll along the fair. And you can preview some of the goodies on the fair website, from bacon ice cream to sushi. There's lots to pick from. And some, like the salads, Neil, and the veggie pie, are even good for you. Our personal favorite is the venerable Hamlin Dining Hall. They actually had Izzy's Ice Cream invent a new flavor for them. It's called Church Elder Berry Swirl. And once you're on the grounds in Falcon Heights, find all the goodness with the fair's smartphone and mobile app. The famous Food Finder, Fun Finder, and Merchandise Search, complete with Google Maps integration, are on their website. Link to them at ctvnorthsuburbs.org/NSB.
Lauderdale held its City Festival on August 18th. The day in the park was once again a time for neighbors to gather and share some fun.
Hi, I'm Senator John Marty, and I'm pleased to be here today at the Lauderdale Day in the Park. I think it's something to be said for that.
And Neil, Moundsview held its own festival in the park. CTV was there to cover their parade.
Jerry Skelly is being honored posthumously today as the Grand Marshal of the Moundsview Festival in the Park Parade.
There's Al. He's in the yellow shirt. Yeah. And of course, another one is Roger Stigney.
The parade ended at City Hall Park, where there was lots of craft shopping, games, and food for everyone. The day, Saturday, the 18th, also included the 6th Annual Classic Car Show, a family fun run, and lots of music.
More than 150 years later, the legacy of the Civil War continues to affect our nation. Join the Ramsey County Library for a special discussion series and some other programs that will examine the impact of that long-ago war on America's past and present. Called Let's Talk About It, Making Sense of the American Civil War, the program is a series of conversations about the legacy of the Civil War, structured around 3 books and led by 2 local scholars of the period, Dr. James Stewart and Stephen Osman. Book discussions will center on critical turning points in the conflict, and no registration is required, and you can prepare for the first session called Part 1, Imagining War, scheduled for Wednesday, September 12th at 7 p.m. at the Roseville Library. The main reading selection is March by Geraldine Brooks, and you can reserve the book at the library website by linking to it at ctvnorthsuburbs.org/NSB.
Food bought in bulk is usually cheaper, but handy only if you have a freezer or lots of storage. Maybe you've heard of the Fair for All program. They do the bulk buying for you and pass on the savings when you buy for them in smaller lots. As a nonprofit organization, they rely on volunteers to help pass on the savings. In our communities, you can find them at Roseville's Real Life Church.
The Fair for All program stops in once a month at the Real Life Church in Roseville.
Kind of the same week of the month, but there are times it changes, and especially November and December.
If you'd like more information on the Fair for All program, link to their site at ctvnorthsuburbs.org/NSB.
Our area had lots of candidates running in this primary election. Now we know what some of our local ballots will look like. We had 2 Ramsey County Commissioners races in District 1, the northern part of our suburbs. Current Commissioner Tony Bennett was ousted, and Frank T. Mabley and Blake C. Hoffman will be our choices on the ticket in November. The more southern district, Ramsey County Commissioner District 2, is an open seat after the retirement of Jan Parker. The 2 leaders after the primary there are Sue Jeffers and Mary Jo McGuire. And with over 6,000 votes cast in the Roseville City Council primary, 4 candidates have been chosen for November's 2 open seats. Bill Hoffman, Karen Schaefer, Jason Etten, and Lisa Laliberte should become familiar names to residents of Roseville in the next months. And of course, there are lots of places that people can find out information to help make their choices a little easier in November, because learning more about them is always the key.
Exactly. The League of Women Voters will have lots of forums that will be covered on CTV. And of course, we are offering TV time to every candidate on a local ballot through our speakouts. We'll be letting you know more about all of that in our election season coverage. For a change of pace, nothing is more restful this time of year than relaxing on a bench in one of our local parks. The city of Arden Hills wanted to enhance their parks and started a 4-year bench implementation plan recommended by the Parks, Trails, and Recreation Committee.
We decided that we would create a program. The idea was that we would create more places for people to rest and relax and enjoy nature, but at the same time also allowing loved ones to be remembered, and maybe if something that's important in somebody's life, they can come and visit the bench and remember that.
Mounds View Square hosted a back-to-school bash recently. Not only were donations of backpacks and school supplies gathered, but kids got their face painted, a caricature done, won prizes, and even saw the inside of a fire truck and a police car.
Today we are at Mounds View Square's Back to School Bash, and we are celebrating the end of summer. We're really highlighting on the different tenants that are in our shopping center. We have a back to school backpack drive that is to benefit Pinewood Elementary School.
Demonstrating a good example and being a good role model for them in the future.
Well, Neil, that's it for this roundup of local news. So now let's turn and take a look at the community calendar. Job seekers can attend a free career development course offered by Ramsey County Workforce Solutions. Beginning in September at Minnesota Ready, you'll gain every skill you need to be competitive in the job market and advance toward a career you'll love. In the 32-hour course, you'll identify growing careers and companies that are hiring, discover resources to pay for training, create a master resume, and learn valuable interviewing and networking skills. Save yourself time and hassle by learning all you need to know going into your job search. Classes start every 2 weeks beginning September 4th, and childcare is also available. For more information, call 651-748-2566 or visit us at the web at www.co.ramsey.mn.us. North Oaks Children's Hospital Guilds share a rich history with St. Paul Children's Hospital with roots going back to 1962. The famous annual rummage sale will be held this year on September 15th, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., and on September 16th from 10 to 2 at the Shoreview Ice Arena. Early admission tickets are also available, and drop-off dates starting the 8th can be arranged. If you want to volunteer or need more information, go to www.northoaksrummagesale.org. And last year, Neil, they raised over $90,000, and this year in 2012, they hope to top that.
And that's it for this edition of the North Suburban Beat. If you have a story idea for this program, you can call 651-792-7523. And you can also view us online at ctvnorthsuburbs.org/NSB. Complete with all the links we mentioned in this show, with Steve Hahn, I'm Neil Bellagio. Thank you for watching the North Suburban Beat.